Who's doing that? Well, people have a list. There's a list of 17 people going around, and this 17-person list, people are saying, we have all these reasons of why we think they were present at the dinner party. And the first one to go down is a red-haired film director by the name of Chang Ching-sung. He's famously known for having like bright magenta looking. It's a very bad dye job, but he has bright red hair, and I don't think that he has any particular works that are very standout. That's why people think it's suspicious. How does he stay in business when he doesn't have any spectacular films? It doesn't make any sense. And he's very, very wealthy, and he's very well connected. People say he was at that dinner party, and we know he was at that dinner party. Director Chang comes out and he says, I feel very burdened by this accusation that I was at this so-called dinner party. First of all, guys, I don't know what you're talking about, and I have the evidence to show that I was not there at that 5th floor unit in this Beijing high-rise. I was at dinner with a different friend of mine, Ting Hairong. She is the widow of this billionaire Chinese businessman, and she's a good friend of mine. And so, of course, we were at dinner. He posts these screenshots from WeChat, his text messages, with Ting Hairong to show, look, I wasn't there, I was at a different dinner party. The text messages read, this is Director Chang asking, are you there yet? Ting replies with a voice message. Okay, so WeChat is kind of like iMessage, where if you respond with a voice message, you can convert it to text. And so he's converted to text so he can take a screenshot and show the people, show the internet, this is our conversation. I'm not hiding anything from you. I was not at the dinner party where Yu Menglong suspiciously died. Please stop connecting me there. Ting Hairong responds, why are you there so early? I'm on the way. You can order a cup of coffee first at the lobby. I made a reservation inside the restaurant, inside of the Bulgari Hotel, but just get some coffee in the lobby first. I'm going to be there soon. So this is from September 10th, around 6:30 p.m.
The night prior.
Yes, the night prior. We still don't know what time Yu Menglong allegedly fell to his death. We just know that he was found at around 6 in the morning by a neighbor who was walking the dog. We don't really know anything else. He responds, well, I got here 40 minutes ago. Why'd you get there so early? Didn't we say that we were going to meet at 6:30? This timing is just, can you just sit and wait and take a break? There's a little bit of traffic here. I was working this afternoon. Yeah, no, it's okay. Ting sends a heart emoji, a hug emoji, and she responds, I'm coming from the airport, so the journey is quite long. And he responds, no rush. That's it. That's like the contents of this screenshot. And netizens think, what does this even mean? What does this do? How is this an alibi? Text messages with your friend should not constitute as an alibi to a crime. People think it's weird that he's even posting this. And also, just because you meet someone at dinner at 6:30 p.m. doesn't mean you don't go anywhere else after. It doesn't prove that you even went to dinner with her because of how suspicious the messages are and the fact that he's releasing this as an alibi. People start going over and asking Ting Hairong, the widower of the billionaire, hey, can you talk about this? Because what do you mean you were at the Bulgari Hotel with him? Are you sure he's not lying? Are these real text messages? She comes out and she says, I never wanted to explain myself to the internet. I'm from an older generation. I don't really check the internet. I was told by family and friends that I'm getting roped up into this madness. I don't even know these people. I don't even know Yu Menglong. Let me tell you what happened. September 10th, I had dinner with a good friend of mine, Director Chang. Well, I thought was a good friend of mine. Okay, I don't know why he's dragging me into this mess now by posting these screenshots. He could have just said that he had dinner with a friend, but instead, now my name is out there. My name is connected to this. I'm getting cyberbullied.
Because people think she's also one of the 17 people now.
Yes, because they're like, she's so rich. She's so well connected. She's always got her little fingers in the entertainment industry. She must have been at the dinner party too. Who's to say that they even went to the Bulgari Hotel? Maybe they just went to the dinner party and they forged these messages. And she's saying, I don't know what any of you guys are talking about. This is impacting my family. This cyberbullying is impacting my reality now, my family. So I'm also going to post screenshots of the text messages that I had with Director Chang on September 10th. And I will point out something very strange. First of all, I think it's strange that he's pulling me into this madness. And second of all, I think it's very strange that he chose to delete this one text message that he sent me that night. Right before he told me, no rush, at the very end of the thread that he showed you guys on the internet, he had said, I'm dealing with something. No rush. So I'm dealing with something, no rush. He deleted, I'm dealing with something. I'm just saying, why lie to the internet? Like, why drag me into this? That's all I'm saying. I'm just going to post my text messages out there. So netizens are like, okay, we've got the exact same text thread minus or plus one message from two different people, from director Chang and now his buddy Ting Hairong. So they're comparing these two sets of screenshots. Both of them are taken on an iPhone and both of them are very suspicious. This is like shooting your own foot. Now people have more ammo to study the different things, pieces of evidence out there. The first thing that they notice is that the audio messages, when they're both converted to text, they have 16 characters per line, including spaces and punctuation. Typically on WeChat, it's 15 characters per line. People start sending their friends audio messages, converting to text, taking screenshots, showing, hey, I have an iPhone, I probably have the exact same model, and it's 15 characters per line. But other people are commenting, well, sometimes when you change the text size on your phone, you could maybe do 16. Sometimes it's like the screen size, if you have like the Pro, not the Pro Max, or like, it could change. But people are like, it's still weird. Let's look for something else. And they find something else. You know how WeChat or any other messaging app, it likes to refresh you on the time and date. It'll say, even if you're in the midst of a conversation, it'll be like, well, now it's 10 minutes later, so I'm going to give you the time in the middle of the screen. Like, it's not like you have to slide to the right to see all these text messages. It's just right there in the middle of the screen. Well, they see that, and they see all these different timestamps, and they try to line them up. And the colons of all the timestamps normally on WeChat are very consistent, very uniform. They're not matching anymore.
Some people suspect that it's Photoshop.
Yes.
The time is, moved.
And so people are like, now we have these two sets of text messages and both of you guys are suspicious. Because first of all, both of you guys have been suspicious from the get-go. Director Chang, he does not have a spectacular background. He does not have a spectacular reputation in the industry. People call him a creep, like a Chester the Molester. As a film director, he does this thing where he just sexually harasses people. I will say that Director Chang is openly gay and nobody really cares about that at all. I mean, I'm sure like any other country, there's some homophobic people, but truly, nobody really cared. The only thing that people were upset about is that time and time again, there would be these rumors, there would be these conversations, scandals that come out of Director Chang harassing male models, male influencers, and male budding actors who want to get into the industry. And the way he does it is very stereotypically predatory of the industry. He would say, you want a job? Let's go eat. Sometimes he would just find a male influencer that he finds attractive online and sexually harass them nonstop, sending DMs like, I'm hungry, I want to eat. You know what I want. Do you like me? Do you want to meet up? Saying very suspicious things, which I know why you're thinking that, okay? It lines up because September 10th, that very night that this dinner party allegedly happens, he posts on Twitter one word, yummy. No context, nothing. That's why he's getting roped into this. Well, that and a lot of other reasons, but that's one of the big reasons. He's always had this very strong standing reputation of harassing young men. There was at one point, he's 34 years old dating a 19-year-old, and still, that's already creepy. People kept saying that he's an old cow that likes to eat fresh grass. Because it's very unsettling. But even while he's dating that 19-year-old, he would go online and harass other 18, 19-year-old male models. People already don't like him. And the fact that he posts this alibi, it's just rubbing people the wrong way. You're not proving anything by sharing text messages with a friend. And they're already suspicious. And Ting Hairong, people are coming for her too. First of all, you have a billionaire husband, got arrested for money laundering, and then in prison right before he gets out at the very young age of like he's in his 40s, he just drops dead in prison, and then you inherit all of his money, and then the rest of your life you just chase after seemingly young, allegedly young actors in the industry to date. That's the vibe. That's always been a small reputation of hers that's been following her around. And so people don't like these people already, and these text messages are not helping. What are you hiding? These two come out and they say, you know what? I got you. I'm going to give you more information. Here are receipts. Here is a paper receipt of the Bulgari Hotel in which us two, we ate in for a table of two, September 10th at around 6:47-ish because, the timing was, I got there late because I was going from the airport. You get it. So they post a picture of this paper receipt sitting on a marble counter. And then to go along with that, they post a screenshot of their bank transaction that coincides with the date and with the exact amount for the Bulgari restaurant. So they're like, see, the money is coming from my bank and I'm going to give you a screenshot of that, okay? A few things. You know when you keep talking because you want to absolve yourself of any guilt, but the more these people are talking, the more guilty they seem? That's exactly what happens. At first, netizens are like, okay, that's a lot of receipts. But you look at the receipts. It's interesting. This receipt itself has been studied to hell and back. The itemized list shows 3 dishes, 2 sodas, and a portion of Italian cheese. It's a table for 2 at table 13 in the Bulgari Hotel restaurant. The grand total, including service charges and taxes, comes out to be $215. Obviously, there are comments on how ridiculous it is to spend $215 on 2 people. But another thing netizens notice is the picture of this receipt, they're posting this like early October.
What does that mean?
It's been a month since September 10th. It's been like weeks.
Uh-huh.
And you're telling me the receipt looks pristine? It doesn't look wrinkled. It looks like it was just printed yesterday. It looks fresh off the roll, fresh off the printer, which is very strange because these 2 people, they're very wealthy. They don't seem like the type to save their receipts for bookkeeping. They don't seem like the type that's like, oh, that was a business dinner. I got to put it in my bookkeeping. They seem like the type that's like, if it's under $10,000, I don't even need a receipt.
Yeah.
But suddenly you have the most pristine collection of receipts that is not crumpled, that you don't just shove into your pocket or your purse. It doesn't make any sense. But the more damning piece of evidence is the receipt shows a time of 7:10 p.m. That's when the receipt is, okay, so it says time, 7:10 p.m. At the very least, some people are interpreting it differently. It doesn't make sense that they would be done eating at 7:10 p.m. because their text messages, they were supposed to meet at 6:30, but she's running so late.
Yeah.
And then also, it's a hotel. It's a 5-star hotel. Any hotel, regardless of the stars, but like the more stars, the more wait time at restaurants typically. They sit down, you get wine, you get drinks. Like it takes,
freaking way.
You're sitting there for 40 minutes chit-chatting before your food comes out at the Bulgari Hotel. They're speed eating like this is a Chipotle. It doesn't make any sense.
Or this is when the tab is open, maybe?
So that's the next thing. People are like, okay, this is when the tab was open.
Yeah.
They start the order. They take the order at 7:10 p.m. Okay, put it into the system.
Yeah.
And now it's probably going to take like another 30 minutes for the food to come out. 7:36. So about 26 minutes later.
Yeah.
They're definitely not done eating. Because again, if the food is put into the system at 7:10, let's say the fastest it comes out, 15 minutes later, what is that? That's 7:25. And then you're done at 7:36? I doubt it. There's no way. An Italian cheese plate, you're not scarfing cheese down like that. You're sitting there and you're talking. So why is it at the very end of their text messages, you don't see the text message itself, but like I said, in the WeChat likes to float these little time markers when more text messages are sent. You just see this in the middle of the screen at the very bottom of the screenshot. 7:36 p.m.
There's a message.
A message. So it's them 2 sitting inside of this high-end restaurant in the Bulgari Hotel, texting each other at the same table. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? And why would they not show us the message then?
Yeah.
And then another thing. You know how we got those screenshots of the WeChat? It's very clear. Both of them, these screenshots come from an iPhone. Why is it that when they post their bank statement, it's an Android all of a sudden? The time, the battery marker, it's all Android interface. So what does that mean? And what does the Bulgari Hotel have anything to do with this? This is probably the more complicated web of storylines that we've covered in a while, where nothing can be taken as a fact, nothing can be confirmed, everything is alleged, but everything starts unraveling in a way that doesn't even make sense. Videos start going viral of what appears to be Menglong being tortured inside of a Bulgari hotel. The same Bulgari hotel that these 2 allegedly had dinner at. Then these 2, a lot of their history starts coming up, and there are allegations that they're connected to not just Menglong's passing, but to other famous celebrities passing. Menglong's agency, in fact, there are now conversations of at least 10 different celebrities passing away under very suspicious circumstances from his exact same talent agency. And there's so many things that are very similar to his case. The police are closing the cases immediately. There's lots of rumors circulating. The police want to shut down all conversations. They don't want to reinvestigate. They don't want to disprove any rumors. They just wait until all of it quiets down and everyone forgets about it. This is part 2 of the Menglong case. We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the New York Immigration Coalition. They're an umbrella policy and advocacy organization that represent over 200 immigrant and refugee rights groups throughout New York. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support our growing team, and we'd also like to thank you guys for your continued support. As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. We will also be linking a signature petition on the website demanding justice for Menglong. A quick disclaimer, there are lots of sensitivities in this episode, brief mentions of self-exit, corruption, drugging, physical assault, essay, and a lot of perhaps more political conversations that have been taking place. This is just a recap of all the different discourse online. This is not me taking a political stance against one nation or another, especially when I have yet to visit a country. I don't even think that I am in a position to take any judgments, but today's case does take place in China. We had our professional translators working almost around the clock to help gather the information for this case. In this case, I mean, if you haven't watched part 1 already, go watch that first because there's no way that I can even give you a full recap on it. But it is the most confusing case in the sense of there is nothing that is confirmed. There is nothing that we know to be definitively true. I mean, categorically, everything is alleged. Everything is a rumor. Even rumors are getting debunked. There will be times where my researchers are like, yes, this is what happened. And then they'll call me in the middle of the night and be like, that's not what happened. They just disproved it. Okay, let me tell you. But then after people are disproving it, other people don't believe in the disproving of the rumor. So there's like 20 different camps of people for every allegation, for every suspicious leak that's been out there. So the information in this episode is largely unverified, limited, constantly getting deleted, re-uploaded. I imagine this episode, I actually don't know if it will age well or not, for the sole reason that with cases like this, we're very hesitant to talk about it because the last thing we want to do is spread an unconfirmed rumor or to indirectly accidentally cast light onto someone that may have no involvement. That's a huge fear of ours. But with this one, I just don't know if there will ever be a time where the authorities will come out and give us any concrete information. And I think that what has happened with other celebrities that were part of Menglong's agency, people have just stopped the conversation because it's been years. And so this is what we know, and this is what the online discourse is. But again, do your own research, come to your own opinion. The only things that I can tell you with full confidence in this episode is that Menglong, a famous beloved Chinese actor, is dead. The facts around his death are suspicious in my opinion. The government, the police are behaving even more suspiciously, and those are the only concrete facts that we really have. I cannot confirm with certainty just about anything else. Nobody has been detained, convicted. Nobody has really spoken out to give any fact-based information on why they're not related to this case or why they are. It's just everything is very hazy, and legally speaking, his death has been ruled an accident. So with that being said, we're going to go over all of the people that were allegedly involved and all the conspiracies that range from believable to kind of like a movie. They're really intense. There are times where I would get so sucked into a conspiracy while researching that I would have to take a moment to be like, wait, is this too crazy? Like, am I going down a rabbit hole and believing in something too crazy because the sense is kind of there, but I've never seen stuff like this happen in real life. So is this just unhinged conspiracy theories? To that, I just say there are times where you have a conspiracy theory and the reality is not that dark. The conspiracy theory is like a combination of the top 10 movies of that year meshed into one giant aluminum tinfoil hat theory. And the reality is a little bit more simple. And there are times where the reality is a lot darker than the conspiracy theories themselves. And everything is a lot worse in reality than we ever thought. So I don't know what the case is with this situation, but I'm going to go through all of it with you today. So with that disclaimer, let's get started. How do you know when a celebrity actually needs help? Even if they are saying things, how would you know if it's real? That has been the case with Menglong's last live streams. People have been pouring through his social media history. They've been going through his pictures, any of his tweets to see, is there something we're missing? And they have put together a series of clips. So in part one, we went over, it looked like he had bruises on his eyes. It looked like he had these injuries that he was hiding with makeup when he was out and about and fans were taking pictures and videos of him. But in his own live streams, fans have found some very strange things. We don't know if these have been taken out of context, so take it with a grain of salt. But in one live stream, Menglong is wearing what appears to be a blue suit. He looks like he's working, and it just looks like he's reading comments from his fans during the live stream. He kind of has his hand covering his mouth as he's reading the comments, and some people say it actually doesn't look like he's reading the comments. His eyes aren't necessarily moving left to right. They're not moving up and down. They're just kind of staring at the comments, almost as if he's looking at the comments, but his attention is maybe elsewhere in the room. Like he's trying to listen in the room. He's trying to get a vibe of if anybody in the physical room with him is staring at him. And then eventually he says, puts his hand down. He says, while he's covering his mouth. Puts his hand down and immediately mouths something before talking. And it sounds like a very breathy, low, save me. You can barely hear him. You can see his lips moving. You can hear some breathiness. It kind of sounds like save me, but you don't really hear it. It sounds weird. And then immediately afterwards, he starts voicing out his words like this. So it's like, save me. And then voicing out his words like this.
也不是 PK， 也不是有两个对话的那个。
Just talking about normal things. Netizens have ripped this live stream apart, saying, is this a moment where he's reaching out for help? Because it doesn't make any sense. Why would he say, save me like that? Others are saying, no, it's because the internet was lagging. So maybe his mouth and his voice weren't matching up. And so his mouth looked like it was saying, save me, but it wasn't. It was just not catching up to the sound. Other people are saying that doesn't make sense because I distinctively hear a save me. Then there are conversations that breathy save me was edited in later by someone who wants this to go viral. So there is so much discourse around this live stream, but it doesn't help that there are just a lot of weird things that he did before his passing. In the month of August, there are social media posts after social media posts where it seems like Menglong is unwell. In another live stream, he voices out the words, help me. A lot louder this time. His fans hear it, but they do nothing. Everyone assumed that he was talking about his network being bad. Right before this, he's talking about how his network connection is not the best and the live stream isn't really working well. And then he says, help me. And so people are wondering, maybe he tried to play it off with whoever is in the room with him, because the whole insinuation is that his agency, his manager, are in control of him. There are people who believe that he has been held captive for a really long time, that he's been doing work events, he's been live streaming while being held captive so that nobody is suspicious. They think that he's saying, help me, as in like, maybe everyone in the room will think that I'm talking about the network, but I'm telling you, help me. Then there is another moment that people have dissected. So I know in America, we have the DV violence symbol for help. So if you are in a car and a police officer drives up, or if you're in an airport and you're talking to a TSA gate agent, you have your open palm, all 5 fingers up like a high five. You tuck in your thumb, and then you close your fist around your thumb. He has done that motion multiple times in his live streams. So he'll have 5 out, and then he'll kind of tuck his thumb in, covering his mouth, and then he'll tuck it all the way in and do a fist and cover his mouth. He does it very naturally. So some people are wondering, is this just a natural motion he does?
And then in Chinese, I think some people think it's 540, which in Chinese is 我五四零, sounds very similar to 我死了, like I'm dead. So it's like another signal that people are picking up.
There's also another poem that started going around, and I couldn't verify if this was exactly from him because I couldn't find any of the original sourcing, neither could the rest of the team. But it seems like he was writing a poem about a rainy day and how he's learning some magic tricks. It's the most random poem, even if I were to give you the translation for it because of the way that the sentence structure in English and Chinese are so vastly different, it wouldn't make sense. But it felt very random in the sense of, today's a rainy day, don't forget your umbrella. I learned a new magic trick today. Like, it's very out of nowhere. Like, the poem itself is not artistic. It doesn't make any sense. But people were saying if you take the first character of every single line of this poem, it says, today they want me to die. And that has been circulating. So these are all the reasons that people think that he has been held captive for months, which begs the question, who's keeping him captive? Why are they keeping him captive? September 11th, 2025, my sister-in-law actually opens up her Little Red Book app. Do you guys remember when TikTok was going to get banned in the US? It was a very bizarre side plot in the US timeline. Everybody starts posting dramatic goodbyes and then immediately downloading another app called Little Red Book. This is that app. In China, it's probably the more new, more foreigner-friendly application. Like Douyin is Chinese TikTok, the original TikTok. But Xianhoushu is kind of like Pinterest, Instagram. It's for younger people. Lots of foreigners love it. And she opens up the app and the first message that she gets is like, hello, are you aware of the content guidelines on this application? You are not to repost like negative celebrity trivial matters. Like, please refer to the terms and conditions as a user. Click here to accept and close. It was the most bizarre, out of place notification that she got, to the point where she screenshotted it and sent it to her friends because she thought it was very strange.
And it wasn't because of like she was posting anything and getting like a strike or another alert. She doesn't post. This is like a mass notification to every single user.
Every single one.
And she is just confused.
And everyone is like, oh, this has to do with Menglong. Because September 11th, 2025, the same day that Menglong is found deceased at the bottom of the building, the Cyberspace Administration of China demands a meeting with the executives of Little Red Book. The purpose of the discussion is your trending list. The trending list, what the users and your algorithms decide to push more out into the ether. They're saying you guys frequently have celebrity personal dynamics, interpersonal relationships between high-profile people. It's just trivial. It's trivial, nonsensical matters that really impact the online ecology, and it's the ecosystem of the younger generations online. This is not good. They should focus on things that really matter. This is actually a thing. The Cyberspace Administration of China, they were the ones to ban feminine men. That was like a thing. They didn't really want a lot of what you would call pretty boy celebrities, which is like a bigger thing in East Asia, Korea as well, because they felt like it was instilling weak values in the men in China. So overnight, all these idols that fit that category were scared to get banned. So they're like posting workout videos in the gym. They're saying like, we are trying to cultivate the perfect ecosystem to influence the entire nation in a positive way. And all of this gossip about celebrity drama is not going to be good. And this gossip that they're talking about is the death of Menglong. Later, anyone online questioning the cause of Menglong's death on Little Red Note were automatically getting deleted, banned, and suspended. But people have gone to Threads, they've gone to Twitter, they've gone to all these different foreign social media platforms to come up with what they believe happened. And it actually starts way, way before September 10th or September 11th. They go all the way back into August. They start analyzing all of Menglong's live streams like I was talking about, but they also start going through all of his public performances, his public appearances, and it's around the beginning of August that you start to see a massive decline in what appears to be his mental state and physical state. That is what people are saying online. I don't personally know any of these people, so what presents in a video could not be what's happening in reality, but it does look suspicious. So this is where the series of the bruising of the face is showing up, and then also he just looks incredibly skinny and frail. Prior to this, when he is at work events or even when he's traveling, He's never really the most outgoing, extroverted person, but he's very attentive to his fans. But during the month of August, any fan meetings he has where people are running into him and recording him, he seems really disassociating. He seems like he's trying to have a conversation, but he's not really there. That's how everyone is describing it. He's still posting on Weibo, but nothing in particular, perhaps just a series of travel photos, and most of it is not even of him. Most of it includes shots of plants and like serene backgrounds, but we don't even know if he's traveling. This could have all been taken in Beijing. So it seems like since August, he has been held captive until September. That is the theory that's been going around. His managers, his agency, all of these higher up people have been holding him hostage. They have someone watching his every move. They're watching him live stream. They're watching everything he posts. They have access to his phone, and they're trying to get something out of him. What are they trying to get out of him? Everyone points to 9 years ago. A famous singer that I know by the name of Kimi, but
Qiao Renliang.
yes, so he passed away 9 years ago from the same agency. And people think that there is a connection because even when Kimi passed, there were lots of conversations around. It seems like there were conspiracies that he had pissed off higher ups, that he had rejected somebody that wanted to do something sexual with him, and they were trying to blackball him, and eventually it led to his passing. There were a lot of different theories running around, and the police, the authorities, they were very hush-hush about it. Everything pretty much gets closed down. It's very similar to what's happening with Menglong. A lot of people believe that they have the same manager. So people start going online and they start typing into different search bars, do they have the same manager? Do Kimi and Menglong have the same manager? And these search bars would say, yes, they do. They have the exact same manager.
Douyin AI.
Yeah, it's like the AI generated search, which like I know how we feel about AI, but like, you know, it's the AI generated search. People are looking at it and they go, okay, so they have the same manager. I mean, there's no proof, right? There's no like, no one's going into the company records, but that's what Douyin is saying. The very next day, after all of this blows up, people are reposting it on Threads, on Twitter. You go back to Douyin and you ask, do they have the same manager? Suddenly it's no. The answer has been
it.
Yeah,
Side by side. It's so weird.
I would say like most of these search platforms, when they use the AI feature, it's not very accurate. Like accuracy is not the name of the game with these top searches. Like even like the Google AI overview, it's like most people say it's not accurate, right? But with this, to change it the next day is weird because they just leave up the inaccurate information. They don't go ahead and change it. So why would they change it? Who would call to have it changed? People start digging into the manager. And we mentioned in part 1 of this entire case, the manager does not seem to have an entertainment background. There are rumors that he is part of an organized crime syndicate. He's just hired muscles. People say that he is more of a, I would say hitman is maybe taking it too far, but like the cleanup of organized crime. You got a dirty job on your hands. This is the guy that you call. And they are very closely intertwined with a lot of powerful executives and investors. He was hired into the company as, yes, a manager, but really his formal occupation would just be to watch over these subjects, to make sure that they're not stepping out of line, to make sure that they're not saying anything, to make sure everything goes as normal. I will say this manager is also a very strange guy. If you dig into his old posts, there are, he likes to post, all of these people like to post weird things. They love trying to be edgy, artsy, but it's not, it's just uncomfortable. It's just very scary. He likes to post a series of photos where it shows a man saran wrapped to a table. It looks like an episode of like a serial killer show. So you got
actual person?
Well, that's what it looks like in the first 3 photos.
Okay.
And it looks like a person saran wrapped to an operation table, like a steel table. And then someone is grabbing his head in one photo. So it looks like he's about to get a head massage. And then all of a sudden a knife appears and they cut this man's head into 6 different sections. It looks like a cake. It's like a, is it cake video? And then those 4 pieces are like, the pieces of his head are arranged on a plate. It's clearly not a real person. It's clearly either some sort of sculpture or AI generated art or drawing or something. But his whole caption with that is, something that is whole can be cut into pieces, but those pieces can never be whole again. And so people think, this guy, this manager is just weird. We don't really know anything about this man. We don't know how he got into the role of being Yu Menglong's manager. We don't know much about him. All we know is that he likes to post these types of things. So people believe that the person that lured Yu Menglong to the party, the dinner party that night, is the manager. They think that Yu Menglong is not one to go out with any of these people. He's not one to go on any of these drinking meetings with investors. He's someone that likes to very much follow the rules. He likes to stay home. He likes to cook with his 2 dogs. He has a corgi and a French bulldog. He's a very big homebody that just works hard. He's not someone that likes to really go out to dinner and get drunk with other celebrities. Not that anything's particularly wrong with that, but he would not have showed up to a dinner party unless his manager had invited him. So he gets lured to this apartment by his manager, and there's a bunch of investors, a bunch of big business partners that are there, and they all want to sleep with Yu Menglong. Over the past 10 years, at least 9 other artists have died under very strange circumstances from this same agency, and that's why they believe the manager is heavily involved. With the 9 others, sometimes the cause of death is listed as self-exit, sometimes it's an accident, but always netizens have questions about them. And I don't think it's a situation where netizens just cannot grasp the idea of one of their beloved celebrities having depression. There's no answers to any of these. It just doesn't make any sense. And the whole agency itself is very suspicious. They say the format of the agency, and we kind of touched upon it on episode 1, is that it's a government-run state agency. You can't sue them. This is like suing the government. And if you think suing the United States of America is hard, probably suing China is not even a viable option for anybody. It just doesn't make sense. So this government agency will go around and mass sign a bunch of talent. After the end of a talent reality show, they'll go and sign 20 new people. And then they'll pick 1 or 2. They're going to make them really famous. The other ones, they're just going to hold them hostage, freeze their careers, refrigerate their careers. That's how they refer to it. Allegedly, yes. Theories. And then they can't get out. Out of those maybe 18 celebrities left, maybe half of them come from really well-off families. Because it's hard to get into the celebrity world, into the entertainment business without some sort of funding and backing. So these celebrities' families will say, you know what, I just want out of this contract. So I'm going to pay whatever crazy fee you want me to pay, and I need to leave. I need to go sign with someone who's actually going to invest resources into my career. So they sign the contract and they leave. And then you have a handful of people left. These are people that come from backgrounds where they can't afford a breakup fee. Those termination fees are like millions of dollars. With Yu Menglong, it was 30 million. They can't afford that. Like, they would be in debt for the rest of their lives and the next life. It wouldn't make sense. So they can't do anything. They can't sue the agency for not giving them what they were promised. They can't get out of the agency and find work elsewhere. So they're just stuck. So what do they do when they're stuck? This is when investors can come and decide if they like you. These people are considered free-for-all playthings. They will allegedly open up shell companies in their name to launder money. These massive investors and business owners will launder money through their names. Other times they will use them as victims for their sexual fantasies, allegedly. That has been the rumor.
But it is true that there were companies open in their name that's dealing firearms and military weaponry.
Yeah, so that seems pretty much confirmed. Yu Menglong had multiple shell companies in his name, and all of them were pertaining to military contract sales. And this is not someone who would money launder. None of the money was going back into his accounts. It's going in and out. And you're talking about millions, tens of millions of dollars. And he isn't seeing any of that money. He doesn't know anything about the military, but it's getting laundered in his name. There is a very famous Chinese celebrity by the name of Yang Mi. We've talked about her briefly on our other podcast, Moral of the Story, and she's massive. She's probably one of the biggest stars in China. She worked on Eternal Love with Yu Menglong, and she has her own agency, and it seems like they have a very sibling dynamic. I mean, they played siblings, but they also have one in real life, like sibling dynamic. She traveled to Beijing at least 3 separate times with the sole intention of signing Yu Menglong.
Really?
And the agency would just not let him go. I think that she knew that they were not putting enough resources into him, and she wanted to help him. I don't know if she knew anything deeper. I'm not saying that she knows anything sinister, but I think that she was like, he's not getting enough roles as he deserves. I think I could do a lot more for him. Company would not let him go. And this company is not really doing anything for his career either. And it seems like if this is what the company is doing, because they're a state-run agency, they could theoretically get away with it. Remember how I said there were 9 other people in the past decade that suspiciously passed in this company? Just to give you an idea, one of them is a female artist who ends up, this is what the police say happened. She took off all her clothes, got completely naked, and then jumped to her death. That this was a self-exit. A female celebrity who is pretty much probably always objectified online, being vulnerable in a very vulnerable situation psychologically, is then going to take off all her clothes and then plummet to her passing so that she can be photographed in the nude, so that people can objectify her more, so that people can sell these photos. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But anytime people tried to ask those questions, they were getting deleted. Another signed talent is a newscaster. He died in an accident, and his mom later came out to say that the police told her that she needs to sign a document that her son did drugs, was high, and fell off the building, or she could not see her son, and her son could not be released back into her custody. People believe that with each passing and with each suspicious circumstance, that there are a handful of people that seem to consistently show up in those moments. The first one is a man by the name of Shin Chi. Shin Chi has been an enigma in the entertainment industry for a very long time because everyone is like, I don't know how this man came up. I don't know what kind of funding he has, but he's very well connected politically. November 2018, Shin Chi is 27 years old. He becomes the chairman of the China National Electric Investment Group's new energy company. The chairman.
CEO?
Yes.
Chairman?
27 years old. This is a government-run entity, meaning how would a 27-year-old be appointed that position unless he has absolutely incredibly strong, powerful people in the ranks that are handing him these positions? AKA, he's a political Nepo baby. If he were just really smart and capable, even if he were to follow the route of getting into government, nobody would promote a 27-year-old for being outstanding. Politics has hierarchies, legacies, seniority, favoritism. They're not just going to give him a position for being the most capable, which I don't think he is, regardless. Which means, who the hell is Shin Chi? He goes from being the chairman of this state-run investment group to suddenly being like a film producer. He just makes movies. He invests in movies. He's like a major name in the entertainment industry. How do you even break out like that? Again, you go from that investment group chairman to the entertainment industry and you're succeeding across all fronts. And when you look into his past, nobody can find his family history. He doesn't talk much about his childhood. Who is he? Who are his parents? Because you can only get these types of positions if your parents have high up government positions. One insider from the industry spoke out and anonymously told a reporter online, like, do whatever you want with this information, but he's connected to top party leaders. He's got strong ties with the leaders of CCTV, which is the state-run TV agency, the government-run TV network, news network. And weirdly, anytime you hop on a call with this guy, he uses a number that doesn't even route back to him. It's like, you see the caller ID, but it's not him. Like, you don't see Shin Chi. It's weird. Like, it's just like this other guy's name. So it seems like a fake number, and they are able to pull up that number because I guess this insider has had conversations with him. This number is linked to at least 99 companies registered. When you register a business, you have to have a phone number that goes along with it. It's this number that's mainly used. And this number is also connected to Menglong's shell companies.
Really?
So everyone's saying, okay, Shin Chi seems to be, if this is true, if all of this information is not faked, not AI generated somehow, not edited with absolute perfection, and these are real tips given to real reporters, then yes, it seems like there is a connection between these shell companies, Shin Chi, whoever that man is, and Menglong. But that's not the only connection. Shin Chi has been Menglong's top fan for years. Top fan in China is a little bit different from maybe America. Top fan does not typically mean you love this celebrity the most. You're the number one fan. It typically means you are the fan with the most power. You can buy billboards. You've got money. You've got connections. You are a highly influential fan. You can make things happen for your favorite celebrity because you yourself have power. That's what they call a top fan. Shin Chi has been Menglong's top fan for years. He actually runs Menglong's fan club
It's crazy. Wow.
And he is reported to be gay, and he seems to have some sort of crush or some sort of infatuation with Menglong, has been the conspiracy online. And again, I don't think that I need to be the one to give you a disclaimer, but sexual orientation has no correlation with someone's ability to commit a crime or to be a vile person. I mean, I think if you look at most episodes on this channel, straight people commit so many heinous crimes. Like, if you're trying to use this as a way to be homophobic, you should try a different video. Nothing on our channel. But people think that he had this infatuation with Menglong and has been trying to get Menglong to consent and to do sexual things for him, sexual favors. And the best way to do that is to stunt his career growth. So after all of the big hit dramas that he was in, around 2020 to 2023, Menglong is off the radar. He goes into the village to teach children. He's basically starving. He comes back and he jokes that he has no money for food. Now we know it probably wasn't a joke, but for those 3 years, it is believed that Xin and at least another very wealthy, influential person wanted to get Menglong and he was refusing. So they completely halted his career. I think it sounds like a very big conspiracy, but the thing to remember is for these people, if this were to be true, it's not much. It's just vengeful. It's like, okay, fine, you don't want to sleep with me? Then you're not going to get a job.
Yeah, I mean, and also you look at his career. How could you going from doing such big drama
with Yangmi?
With Yangmi, yeah, like these are crazy breakout roles, and then boom,
Gone.
Off TV for 3 years.
And
something happened. Yeah.
And it's not like he was trying and nothing was happening.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that was a flop. It wasn't, he was just gone.
Yeah.
He was gone. And so people think Xin is one of those people that wanted to get something from him and it wasn't working. And another thing to add to this is there have been reports that from beginning of August, some people even say in the month of July, there were lots of leaked blind items from the paparazzi saying that, hey, there's a very big actor that was in Eternal Love. Now, to be fair, Eternal Love has a lot of big names, but he was in Eternal Love and we got news of a major scandal from him.
Yeah, I think they say like a celebrity from the show with 25 million followers, which, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
How many, exactly 25 million? Who are we talking about? Yeah.
And people were saying that these executives, these higher ups, are leaking this information to the paparazzi as another way to threaten Menglong and say, see, we not only have power over your career, we can also ruin your whole career. Like, we can just take you off the screens, yes, but we can make you a very bad person online as well. And so this is just adding more and more pressure. So people believe that Xin was one of the ones that really wanted to sleep with Menglong, and they believe that he was there at that dinner party that night. And just to give you an idea about these dinner parties, a lot of Chinese celebrities have seemingly spoken up about this, and it's kind of the same in East Asian culture, I'm sure Korean culture as well, not just in the entertainment industry, even just the business world. You want to get a business deal done, you got to go get drunk, you got to go to a 회식, like you have to go and pour alcohol for these higher ups to get a deal signed. There's this very viral clip of Tao from EXO. He is now in China. He also recently got married, I believe. He was talking about, this was from years ago. He was screaming, like getting very riled up in a live stream. And he said, I have my own agency. And if you tell me my employees, my talent, have to go do a business deal and they have to drink something, then get the fuck out. I don't need your money. We don't need you. We don't need your stupid deals. Like, no, I'm not letting them put their health in jeopardy.
给我公司所有员工，我立了一个规矩，你出去谈任何业务，谈任何项目，只要让你喝酒，不滚都滚。我绝不让我员工去卖身体，去喝酒，去谈任何的业务。这辈子我不可能做这种事儿。我公司可以不做，我不让我员工做这种事情，就这么简单。
And I think he was saying health as in like, because you have to get like blackout drunk and that level of alcohol is not good. But people have been recirculating this clip by saying maybe health could mean other things. We don't think that's what he meant, but they're saying like, we just don't know how dark it gets when people get that drunk. We don't know how many people could get taken advantage of. So it does seem like this is a very normal thing that happens, at least these drinking parties. The reason that Xin is important to this, though, is a lot of people believe the money laundering is all connected to him. He had opened up the shell companies in Menglong's name. He wants to sleep with Menglong, and he also has this very shady LinkedIn profile, if you will. How do you go from being nobody to being the chairman of this state-run massive investment group to being this very famous producer and director and doing all of these things in the entertainment industry? Nobody knows who your parents are. So there are rumors that he is the illegitimate child of the head of state of the entire nation. Because even if he, there were previous rumors circulating that maybe he was the illegitimate son of one of the Politburo members, which are like the top 25 most powerful people in the nation. But a lot of people are saying there's no way that the head of state would not just let them go down for it. Because this looks bad ultimately on the head of state. It doesn't look bad on everyone. It looks, ultimately when you have one person at the top, like anyone, most nations have a president, it just looks bad on that person. They're the first to be blamed. So why would they go down for a random person's son in the top 25 most powerful politicians? At the end of the day, he's the most powerful. Why would he go down for him? So they think that this guy, Shin-chi, is the illegitimate son of the head of state of the entire nation. And there have been rumors circulating prior to this. And these, I will say, are rumors that a lot of these are people who very much dislike the government system in China. These are people who are very outspoken about that. And that's their right? But they're very anti-CCP. And they have been saying for months prior to this that there have been lots of rumors, and they believe to be true, that the head of state has been embezzling money through military contracts, right? Which is, I think that's a thing that a lot of different heads of state have been accused of, but they're accusing him of doing that. And they're saying now with these military shell companies, maybe it's all connected. Maybe this is the illegitimate son who's funneling and money laundering through this celebrity, and then maybe Menglong finds out and wants to put an end to it or wants to go public with this information, and now he must die. And now it's going to get covered up because it's not even just about Menglong's death anymore. It's about a whole system. And just to give you an idea, if you run this phone number, netizens have been able to pull up other companies that are with the same phone number that allegedly belong to Shin-chi. And one of the companies has been operating for 5 years. They have 0 payroll employees. 0 employees. And they generate $630 million in revenue.
Dang.
In the past 5 years.
Wow.
Its logo probably reads not money laundering at that point because, that's money laundering. To give you an idea, other businesses who generate that kind of revenue, around even $100 million a year, they will employ on average at the very least 100 people, but typically on the 1,000 people end. You're not going to generate that with 0 payroll employees. But they're saying that these different companies, all 99 of them, are so profitable, even though nobody's running them. They're just printing money at this point. It doesn't make any sense. These are the allegations. I don't know. I don't have the paperwork in hand. I am not someone who can certify such legal paperwork. So I don't know if this paperwork has been edited and reposted online. I don't know. But that same number can also be traced back to another very well-known celebrity, Song Yi-ren. And she has been connected to this dinner party many a times through many a different pieces of evidence. Song Yi-ren is a small-time actress. She was on this reality show called Everyone Stand By, which I did a whole Mott's episode on. It's like a famous Chinese acting reality show where the premise of the show is you gather a group of acting professionals. Most of them are newcomers or they had their heyday and now maybe they're falling off a little bit. They get booked onto this show and they're doing skits, mini dramas, and they're doing improv acting, and you have this panel of judges of world-renowned actors who are going on to judge their acting ability, not just their influencer count, but like genuine their profession. And she actually made me cry.
That's crazy, right? Thinking back.
Yeah, they had this, they called it Performance City, and all of the contestants were to go into this massive fake city, and they could go through the costume department and dress up in whatever their character were to be, and the judges would walk around while they're improvising these different character storylines. She chose one that was very emotionally gripping. A lot of the other characters, they were couples who were fighting or selling peas and selling all these other like street vendors, and none of it was that particularly good. She was very smart and she was very believable. So she dressed up in what I guess you would call back in the day, like a beggar. And she had a sign up.
On her sign that she held up above her head, there's misspelling of a word, but she did it on purpose to show that she's undereducated as this character.
And it was really well done. She never broke character. It was freezing cold in there, and she was shivering because she was that dedicated to the character. I cried watching that because I just felt like it was so good. That's her. She has been placed at the scene of the crime. Whether it's true or not, I'm just going to give you what people have found online. There have been rumors circulating long before she was even on that show that I didn't know about, but they said that Song Yi-ren's personal and professional lives were vastly different. They were just saying it's weird. They said online her career is very much girl next door, soft girl image. Oh, I've never seen anything inappropriate. Like that was always strongly associated with her. But sometimes other co-stars and other friends would talk about her, and they would let it slip that her nickname for a really long time was Xiao Taimei.
Xiao Taimei. Mm-hmm.
What does that mean specifically?
It's like the bad kids in school. She's like the head of it. The bully in K-drama.
Yes.
Like that's the vibe.
Okay, yes. Yeah, our researchers were having a hard time trying to describe it too. One of them said it's like the direct translation would be like little bad girl. Others were saying, no, it's like head bully.
Head bully, yes.
Like head bully girl is the vibe. Like it's just not it's actually very mean. It's not a nice, you don't get pride from being called that. But Song Yi-ren actually went on a live stream once and said, yeah, like that's what I used to be called, but that's when I was young. I've grown up. I don't do that anymore. I was out there drinking, clubbing, partying every day. I dyed my hair blonde, but I don't do that anymore because that's what I did when I was young, which has been a huge debate online with some people saying, actually, I went to school with her because she went to school abroad in Canada and she smoking, drinking, and dyeing her hair was the least crazy thing she did. She actually went around bragging to all of the people at our school that she slept with 50 different guys. She was 17 at the time. It's just what an internet user has alleged. But there has always been this very subtle clashing of people saying she's so different off camera, nothing fits her online persona. Even former alleged classmates came out and said, look, I'm not going to badmouth her. I'm not going to say anything bad, but all I will say is don't believe in celebrity personas because they're all fake. One of Song Yi-ren's biggest scandals was last year in 2024, and paparazzi caught her going to a bathhouse with 3 guys, like a sauna. Okay, bathhouse seems like a sauna. And I think the biggest part that people thought was so scandalous was she was touching the abs of the first guy. So she'd be like talking, they're out on the street, and then she'd kind of place her hand on his chest. And then she would hold the wrist of another guy walking. And then later that night, there was another third guy, and she was spotted touching his arm. They dramatically described this as feeling him up, feeling him down, just groping, caressing. I mean, nevertheless, it was a pretty interesting, unique, scandalous situation for a female celebrity in China to be caught photographed in, especially someone who presents herself as this very innocent, soft girl next door. So a new theory has come about recently that Song Yi-ren is a madam. She befriended Menglong in an effort to finally seal the deal and get Shin Qi, the powerful executive, what he wants, which is Menglong. She's going to lure her friend. So people are saying that she is the madam. She is an actress. So she rubs shoulders with all these actors and actresses. She befriends them. She has this very disarming personality. And then she's like, you know what? Come out. Come hang out with me. Come to my place. And at her place, they'll be introduced to an executive who has always had their eyes on them. And she knows this because she is the middleman. And she's like, oh my gosh, you guys should meet. This is an investor, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you come to this dinner party? They're pouring drinks. There are further conspiracies and allegations that perhaps the drinks are drugged. Perhaps it's full on essay. Other times people are saying she's just the middleman connecting these two parties. And hopefully it's consensual most of the time. But clearly, if that were the case with Menglong, that's not what's happening. But they think that she is a madam. They think that that must be the way she makes money. Because here's an interesting discovery that it's been made. Song Yi-ren, she lives in the same apartment complex as where Menglong passes away. But she doesn't just live in the same apartment complex. She lives in the same building from which he allegedly falls to his death. And there's more about that. She claims that she moved out 9 months ago. She said, yeah, I did live there, but I moved out 9 months ago. So yeah, I did live in that building. I mean, there's pictures of her posing in that building. There's selfies she's taken. There's like this one picture where she's holding a giant acorn and it's like building 18. And again, it could be photoshopped, but she has said, I moved out 9 months ago. So we don't know if maybe the building number was photoshopped and maybe it was a different building, but it doesn't seem like, it seems like it was that building. There are other allegations that she never moved out, and there are other photos circulating of an apartment unit where in East Asia, there's a lot of times where you just hang dry your clothes. So you get one of those like drying tables, and it's up against the window of one of the apartment units, and there's this blue dress shirt and white pants that are hang drying in front of the window. Someone had snapped a photo of it for whatever reason, and they believe that those clothes belong to Menglong, because he was photographed wearing similar clothes. And they think that for the past month before his death, he was being bounced around, somewhat being held captive, not necessarily chained up, not necessarily like, I'm going to tie you up so you can't leave, but being watched and held captive under likely verbal threats. Like, if you try to leave, I'm going to ruin your career. So it's not like the door is padlocked, but perhaps he can't. And they think that Song Yiren was one of the people holding him captive. I do think that this conspiracy theory does get crazier and crazier, but one thing to note is a lot of people were confused. She's on an acting competition show. She's not a major celebrity. She's a small-time actress. How can she afford to live in an apartment building like this to even begin with? So people think, well, that's because she makes her money not from being an actress, but from being a madam, right? That's what people think, but they still are wondering, okay, let's say she's a madam. She gets money from these executives. She tries to force all these other celebrities into sleeping with executives. That still doesn't explain why she wouldn't be the fall guy. Because people are like, let's be real. If there's executives involved and she is just a madam, she'd be the fall guy. There would be some sort of narrative of she got jealous, she pushed him, or she was the only one at that dinner party left, everybody already left, and then they got drunk, maybe they were doing drugs. Like, she would be the fall guy. Because there's so much suspicion. Why not have a fall guy? So there comes the suspicion that her parents are very well connected. She moved to Canada when she was young. Her dad was a professor and in the medical field. I believe he's a doctor, and then at one point he was teaching, but her mom was in marketing, which is very vague. But in Canada, she went on to have this huge company where the distribution to that company, and it's very vague what the company even does, but they had tens of millions of dollars in sales within like the first few years of opening up. And people say, you don't do that just by being talented. You do that by being very well connected, by being politically connected. She has had multiple talks and conversations with business leaders and government officials who run business sectors for like international trade and foreign trade and international businesses. There are rumors that she's also very close with the First Lady of China. I don't know. I've never seen a picture of them
Song
together.
Yiren is?
Song Yiren's mother is very close. This literally could just be someone tweeting random whatever they can think of and hallucinate in their brain from across the sea. I don't know. Or it could be true, or there could be 10% truth. I don't know. But I think people are saying there's no way that she wouldn't be a fall guy unless her parents are also well connected.
I know she currently is so majorly hated across the board all over China.
And it's not just because she lives or maybe previously lived in the same apartment. There's a lot of other things. The things tying her to that night is her phone strap. She's initially placed on this list of 17 people because she posted a ton of pictures outside the building, living in that same building where Yu Menglong passes away. But also there are these selfies where she's pretending to be on the phone. I don't know if she's promoting the phone, her phone strap, her face, I don't know. But it's like pretending to be on a phone. And she's posing with her phone. And her phone has the world's largest blue ribbon phone strap. I don't even know if it could be called a phone strap. It's like a giant dangling blue ribbon. It's like putting a Labubu on your phone. It's that big. It's just huge.
It's a charm, right?
Yeah, it's a massive charm. And that's what it looks like. Now, eventually, a series of peephole videos start making the rounds. And I call them peephole videos because it appears that someone is inside their apartment unit filming through their peephole. When people are walking in the hallway, you just see shadows, you just see figures. It looks like a horror movie. You don't really see the people, even though they're on the other side of the door. Peephole videos go viral, and it sounds like a man crying. And you see these figures ushering this man down the hallway. And then behind them is a woman on her phone, and it looks like she's filming them because her phone is propped up all the way up. And there's just no reason for her to be holding her phone like that unless she's trying to get a signal. So it looks like she's filming them. And the phone shadow on this wall has this giant lanyard attached to it. And people think that looks like the phone strap that Song Yiren was showing off. Otherwise, what the hell is that shadow? Now, I will say a lot of people have more or less debunked these peephole videos. They were posted by a Thai woman September 16th of 2025. So technically the timeline makes sense in that it was posted after Menglong's death, because there are a lot of other leaked videos that people found the original videos to have been posted before his passing. So it wouldn't make sense because, I mean, time just doesn't work like that. But timeline-wise, it makes sense. However, a lot of people are saying you can clearly see that this was not in China. You can clearly see that this is not in Beijing. Other people are saying this Thai woman, like, she has nothing to do with this case. If you look at her other previous videos, it has nothing to do with her. But even that has been debunked. So people are arguing, well, actually, we don't know that. We don't know any of that. The person who posted it hasn't come forward to say that. If you want to muddy the waters of a conspiracy, what would you do? Pump out other stuff. Pump out more conspiracies, make it so crazy that nobody knows what's true and what's not true. Others are saying, well, the Thai woman posted it because she might have friends in China who are like, I don't know what to do with this video because I can't post it. You got to post it. It doesn't really matter if the video is true or not, because I think the circumstances around his death are suspicious enough. I think even if videos are getting debunked left and right, I don't think that should make anyone feel like his death was a drunk accident like the police claim, unless there is factual information, evidence that comes out that says he was. I think that this feels like we could go in a loop. You know, people are saying, well, obviously, maybe the government is spreading misinformation, because if they spread such crazy misinformation and then they debunk it, then it's like, oh, now all the information must be fake, or it must all be crazy. Or sometimes people think the government could be spreading this conspiracy to get even more outlandish, because the general population is not going to believe that aliens came down from the skies to do something. So they think there's a lot of cat and mouse between even the censoring party and the censored people, but I don't know. Starring Academy Award winner Patricia Arquette and Jason Clarke, Murdoch: Death in the Family is the new Hulu original series that explores the unraveling of a Southern dynasty through a deadly boat crash, double homicide, and a massive embezzlement scheme. Inspired by shocking actual events, the dramatized series draws from reporting by Mandy Matney, creator of the popular podcast that followed one of the most twisted crime sagas in recent history. This gripping series brings the drama to life like never before. It's a story of secrets, deception, and murder. Watch the Hulu original series Murdoch: Death in the Family, streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply. However, if we have to go with the safest option, which is, let's say the peephole videos are in fact completely debunked. They do not exist, or they don't exist in the context of this case. This is not Menglong. This has nothing to do with this case. It's just a random video that has been connected. Let's say that's the truth. Then what connects Tong Yiren to this entire incident other than the fact that she may or may not have lived in the same building? She may or may not have moved out 9 months ago. There's lots of celebrities that live inside of this apartment complex. What places her at this dinner party? August 10th, she uploads a series of photos. So this is exactly 1 month before Menglong's passing. And I don't think that she knew this. It's clear that she doesn't, because you know when you upload photos, you can upload live photos. And when people click on them, it's like that awkward 3 seconds of motion and you can hear some things in the background. There's a lot of selfies of her where, I don't know, maybe it's an artistic choice, but I would just never upload those of live photos. It's not cool. She just looks like she's posing very awkwardly. And then she posts a series of them. So some of them are selfies of her. Some of them are photos of all the food that she's been eating. And you can hear people in the background. They're like mini little videos. The first one that has been a giant point of contention is of her taking pictures of food. And she's talking while taking this picture. And you hear her saying, he keeps resisting. He's still resisting. Resisting what? Who is he? Then another live photo, you can hear near the end, it sounds like someone saying, it's painful or what? Like it's hurting or what? It sounds a little aggressive is what people say. And then there's almost like this smack noise right before it. Like, it's painful or what? Now, some people are saying it doesn't sound like it's painful or what. It kind of maybe sounds like, hurting. People are pointing out you can kind of hear pain or some variation of hurt and some variation of a slap. It's not entirely clear, but you can almost also hear someone say no or something along that line. This has been a huge point of contention. Now, in another live photo, people think that someone in the back is saying, "Why did you kidnap Long Long?" which is Yu Menglong's nickname. I will say that one is a little bit more debatable, as people are saying, well, I don't hear it. Some people are saying, I absolutely hear it. It's been back and forth. But the he keeps resisting one, it's clear.
That one is crazy.
The audio is like as clear as this podcast. And there's another picture that has also been in that little photo dump timeline. Is she's at a sushi restaurant. And you see a little cloth on top of someone's phone. And that phone is very specific. It's an iPhone with this silicone orange phone case on it. And that same month, Yu Menglong took a picture. Someone's taking a picture of him taking a picture, and it's the same phone case. I've never seen one singular person outside of Yu Menglong have this specific phone case.
No, because the new iPhone is orange.
Yes.
So that's common. But this is before the new iPhone came out, which is like very uncommon to see someone have a bright orange phone.
It's like a orange juice color silicone phone case. So it's like a very specific texture. It's a very specific look, and it's sitting on the table, and there's a little like rolled hand towel on top of it, which makes people believe that he's still resisting. He doesn't have control over his phone. They took his phone and they're slapping him around to do whatever it means. These are the live photos that make Song Yi-ren part of the 17 list. Now, she does go back and she edits this original post. These pictures are still boldly up. I mean, I don't know if it's just maybe she thinks it makes her look less guilty if she doesn't take it down, but they're still up. The comments read, "This is the most popular Song Yi-ren will ever be." Who are you talking about resisting? Who's resisting, huh? Explain, who is resisting? Others are commenting, "Hell is empty because all the demons are here." Netizens also report that Song Yi-ren has a personal alternate account on Weibo, where she allegedly starts asking people who are questioning her online. So let's say Song Yi-ren, someone's commenting, "Song Yi-ren, why are you doing this? Why were you there? Tell us, why are you so evil?" And then this random account that people have connected with Song Yi-ren keeps commenting, "What are you?" to the person who hates Song Yi-ren. What are you? If you don't want your personal information exposed, be good. Otherwise, you won't even know how you died.
Damn.
It's unclear if this account is truly hers and if these messages were actually sent. We don't even really know where she is right now. Clearly, she has not been detained. She has not been really questioned. Sometimes her social media account's IP show that her location is in Jiangsu, China. Other times it shows Japan. So people were very briefly confused, like, is she fleeing the country? Did she flee to Japan to try and get away from all of this? Or is she changing her VPN so that she can throw people off from her location? Song Yi-ren has come out to state that she has nothing to do with any of this. In her statement, she says, "Recently, I've been bombarded with online rumors, accusing me of introducing these big bosses to entertainers and luring people to drink and conspiring, fleeing abroad to Japan, even calling me a murderer. These rumors and obscenities are suffocating me, significantly impacting my work, my daily life. I'm experiencing unbearable online violence. In reality, I wasn't there. I wasn't at the dinner. Like everyone else, I only learned of Yu Menglong's passing that morning. To offer condolences to the deceased and to clarify matters, I hereby issue the following warning regarding these online rumors. The background noise in the live photos are not related to the incident. One photo in question, it was me and 3 of my friends having dinner at a public restaurant. During the meal, one of my friends was complaining about her husband. So she's saying, he's still resisting.
Oh, the friend is saying her husband is still resisting?
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
What?
Yeah. I thought the best case scenario for her defense, the best case would be like, "Oh, I was talking to this guy and he doesn't like me, but I'm still going to pursue him. He's still resisting." It's still alarming to say in that phrase, but I can't think of, or like maybe a deal. You're like trying to get a deal done and you're like, "Oh, he's still resisting the It's still weird. But like the way that she said my friend was talking about her husband, it makes it even more unbelievable. What is your husband resisting? Maybe he's resisting buying a Porsche. I don't know. But it's just the amount of coincidences in these live photos don't make sense. Another photo, she says, "I was eating with my assistant in a restaurant. There were waiters and other guests around. I don't even know. I was completely unaware of what was being said at the time." So she's saying the smacking sounds and the what, is it painful or what? She's saying, I don't know. Those are just like waiters and other people at the restaurant when I was recording this, I was taking this photo. I have nothing to do with it. She said, I used to live on a high floor in that building. I didn't live in that unit where people are pointing out the pictures of the clothing that they saw that matches Yu Menglong. She says, I lived on a high floor. So this is like her way of disproving it.
Oh.
She's like, I lived on a high floor. That's where I took photos of my daily life. But I moved out 9 months ago. I haven't lived there in a very long time. There are some low light photos circulating on the internet. Those are not of me. This seems like she's referring to the peephole videos. I am a Chinese citizen. I have been in Beijing since the incident, and I have not fled abroad. I don't know any so-called political tycoons. At work, I have always relied on myself, and I have not done anything weird. After being cyberbullied, I've never deleted or edited any content or photos I posted on social media. I want to thank the social media platforms for their legal and regulatory cleanup of rumors after the incident. Because of my contract with the former agency expired in June this year, I was unable to speak from the company or studio. In response to this urgent emergency, I believe that if I come out to clarify, it might have been easier to focus on me. So she's saying the reason that I didn't come out forward sooner to talk about all of this and to try to disprove all these rumors is because I thought that if I came out during the wake of this tragedy, all the attention would be on me. And it would fall into larger scale online bullying and questioning. So I decided to wait until the dust settles before responding. Spreading rumors and online violence will only cause more innocent people to be implicated and hurt. After going through so much, I really hope that the person who spread rumors can apologize. I've reported the case to the Public Security Department and have entrusted a lawyer to take legal measures. In short, she denies all allegations. She says that she's still in Beijing. She has nothing to do with Yu Menglong's passing. In fact, if you utter so much as a word about it, she's probably going to sue you. That's her threat, at least. I will say September 28th, a new drama, The Moment I Met You, starring Song Yi-ren, went up and immediately gets taken down 48 hours later. People are boycotting this drama to hell and back. What's crazy is she's just gone back to posting normal photo dumps of her daily life.
Really?
Acting like none of this is happening. People are commenting, no more live photos? Oh, so you're just going to pretend nothing happened? And they also bring up Dylan Wang in a lot of her comments. So I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening with Dylan Wang? If you guys don't know, Dylan Wang is another very beloved actor in China, and he's huge. He also did a lot of fantasy shows too. Dylan Wang and Song Yi-ren were on a reality TV show together previously. And this clip is so weird. He is sharing the story about how he was invited to a gathering at Song Yi-ren's house previously, before all of this. And everybody is like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Like tell us about it. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it was like this weird, she was having a party and the whole time Song Yi-ren is sitting next to him and she starts looking very uncomfortable. It's like she starts fidgeting, she starts taking sips of her tea, she starts looking side to side and kind of smiling sheepishly. And he's not exposing her for anything. He's just like, there was this one incident where she was saying, you guys are tired. Everyone come over and I prepared these foot baths for everyone.
Okay, just to clarify, Dylan Wang and Song Yi-ren is on a reality show.
Yes.
They're sitting there sharing a story with a group of other celebrities.
Yes.
And this story is making Song Yi-ren looking a little uncomfortable because it's not a good, positive story about her.
Yeah. And so he's like, I thought it was so sweet of her because we had been working all day and she's like, I just want to do something nice for everyone. Like, I just want to get a foot bath for you, right? So he goes over to the party and everyone's like, there's a foot bath. And he's like, oh, this is so sweet. Everyone's like, put your feet in the bath. Put your feet in the foot bath. Put your feet in the foot bath. He's like, oh.
Is this a common thing or no for Americans or no?
A foot bath? Oh, maybe, perhaps not.
It's like a soaking tub with hot water.
It's like, maybe it's a more... I don't know.
It's a very common thing we do growing up. Like after a long day, steaming hot pot of hot water, you dip your feet in there. It's like relaxes your whole body. It's
like, it also in Korea, they say it releases toxins. I guess it would be taking a regular bath, but obviously just your feet. You just roll up your pants, right?
Yes. And so it's like a very relaxing, calming, treatment.
I do want to say there's no like sexual connotations or anything weird about a foot bath. It's just a foot bath. And it's like you go to a manicure or a pedicure. And so he's like, okay, everyone is very excited about me putting my feet in the foot bath, right? And there's a lot of people there. So he's like, okay, he rolls up his pants and puts his feet in the foot bath and everyone starts laughing and cheering wildly. As if like this is the most revolutionary thing that has ever taken place. And yes, Dylan Wang is a revolutionary person, but like him putting his feet in a foot bath is it wouldn't warrant such a response. So he's looking around really uncomfortably and confused. And turns out it was a very mean prank. Every single person had dipped their stinky feet into that foot bath before Dylan Wang. And this was, I guess, some sort of, I don't even know what kind of joke this was.
Yeah.
And
it seems like it was Song Yuan's idea, or this is her way of, I don't know what it was.
I think that it's just not nice.
Yeah.
And so she looks uncomfortable because her entire celebrity persona is being this nice, sweet girl. And now people are saying Dylan Wang has warned us from the beginning. He probably didn't know anything dark, but he probably knew that she was not exactly who she presents, of this nice girl next door. And he shared that story as like, this is weird. Like, I felt uncomfortable by that and I didn't like that, which is understandable. And people have been commenting his name in the comments. They've been bringing up this clip, and she's still acting like nothing has happened, going about posting her normal life. And to do that, you really have to know the right people, which again comes up. The internet thinks that her parents are heavily politically connected. And on top of that, she has a very close friend of hers. This is the person that got her into the Beijing Film Academy. Director Cheng.
The rare hair director, right?
Yes, from the WeChat text messages.
See, they all run in the same circle, these people. That's why.
And they're all such close friends. They were friends since she was 13. He was like 30-something. What can you be friends about? So he gets her into the Beijing Film Academy. They're very close friends since then. And that places both him and her and Xinqi all at the scene of the crime, allegedly. But there's another one. There is a famous singer by the name of Fan Shiqi.
Fan Shiqi, yeah.
Fan Shiqi. We're going to call him Singer Fan. Singer Fan has the world's strangest picture that I've ever seen in my life.
Do you know that they actually were from the same?
Yes, they're from the same. Oh,
So they were in the, I think it's Superboy, the
Yes.
same show that is what got them famous.
and it seems like they've had somewhat of a friendship since the very
Yeah.
beginning. Like, everyone assumed that they were close friends. There didn't seem to be any sort of bad blood or any sort of tension on that show. It seemed like they got along well. And it periodically throughout their career, I think they've had run-ins, and nobody had any suspicion of anything bizarre happening. But there is this very strange picture of Singer Fun. It's a selfie of him in the car with sunglasses on. I don't think it's particularly an attractive picture, but the caption reads, "Ever since I was little, I swore that I would kill anyone who's more handsome than me. Until today, my sword still hasn't been used. Hashtag fun shichi. Hashtag early days. Hashtag just handsome." So this is the type of guy that he is, okay? But then recently, what placed him at that dinner party was this leaked video. There's lots of voices in the leaked video, and people are saying this is the torture before Yu Menglong's death. A lot of people are saying there's just no way that Yu Menglong died from falling off the 5th floor. That's been a huge conspiracy, is that people have this theory that he was tortured to either A, get information out of him, such as a USB. Remember, I went over that theory. People think that Yu Menglong finally found money laundering evidence between Xinqi and everybody else, and he downloaded it into a USB and said, I want out of this. I don't want any of this. I don't want to go to drinking parties with anyone. I just want to have a normal career. Keep me out of this. He brings the USB. They want to get the USB out of him. He swallows it, and they're trying to torture him to see if maybe he can spit it up. Maybe he needs to tell them if there's another copy elsewhere. That's been a huge running theory. Another running theory is that they're just torturing him because they like it, or perhaps they want him to consent to sleeping with them and he just won't. There's this audio, leaked audio, where you hear what sounds like Singer Fan's voice, and it's saying, "You're lucky that I didn't beat you to death. As a man, it's just a little blood. What's the big deal? It's not a fucking thing." A lot of people say it sounds just like Singer Fan, and it is a very venomous way of talking. I don't know if this is AI generated. I don't know. I mean, with cases these days, specifically cases where authorities will not come out and confirm or deny anything, it's getting so crazy with AI. The amount of times that we have to look for frame by frame to see if we can spot any sort of discrepancy that would indicate that it's AI generated. But even then, it's not like I specialize in discovering that. Like, I barely know anything. So it's just been so difficult, and
then
there's
the fact
so many.
that we've run into even like there are real photos, and then people use AI to make that photo move. So now it's like, oh, that looks like the video because it looks just like that photo. And then we have to look frame by frame. And then we turn out it was AI, it was fake. I don't know how it's going to be in 6 months.
I mean, 6 months is bad. Like 6 years would be so...
Yeah.
Yes, so bad. This one specifically, I think it was, I was talking to you about it. It was the craziest thing. We were all sitting there and I was like, something is about this is so weird. This is the video that gets Singer Fun roped into all of this. He's saying all of this and Menglong, you hear dog howling and then Menglong's voice comes out and it's the weirdest, calmest voice. And he says, oh, Fuli is here to save me. Fuli is his dog. So people were saying, listen to this entire leaked video. This guy, Singer Fun, is torturing Menglong, bleeding, making him bleed. He's like, oh, blood's nothing, right? And then the dog starts barking and Menglong is like, my dog is here to save me. And then you hear just seconds and minutes of the sound of a dog howling and Menglong wailing, like sobbing. And it sounds like his dog is being tortured in front of him.
你鸡巴什么呀？
狐狸来救我了。
没鸡巴打死你就不错了，他妈忍着点吧，没鸡巴事儿。大男人他妈流点血，算鸡巴什么？
But then it gets confusing because that whole part where he says Fuli is here to save me, his dog's name Fuli,
狐狸来救我了。
that's from his live stream.
狐狸来救我了。噔噔，狐狸来救我了。
So we don't know how much of this video is accurate. Singer Fun saying that, it sounds like him, could be AI, but it sounds like him, but it could be AI. We don't know. And then this part seems like it was edited in because it sounds just like him saying it in his live stream where he's cooking and then he sees his dog and he's like, oh, Fuli is here to save me. And it's just calm. It doesn't match the tone of the rest of the video. But then when you have the dog howling and Menglong crying, it sounds like him.
Yeah.
It sounds like him crying. So it's like, what is it possible that 80% of this video is true and the 20% is edited? Is it possible that 90% is true? Is it possible that only 50% is true? And if any part of it is true, that's already very alarming. And then there has been this conspiracy that's been running around, which I've been talking to you about like people saying, oh, well, it's been debunked. Well, has it really been debunked? Who said it's debunked? Another big problem with this case is there are speculations that the people in power, perhaps even the government, they take a very real audio clip and they intentionally fake it. Because they're like, this audio clip is probably going to get out there somehow. Someone's leaking information, so it's going to get out. So why don't we put it out first, but we insert some fake audio, throw it out there. Some internet sleuth is going to say, wait, this is fake. And now this whole audio that would have been leaked as real is now fake.
Yeah.
Because we edited in this random little word in there.
Yeah.
That you can hear from his other live stream.
Yeah, that's a very easy way for them to invalidate anything that's even real, right?
And it's a very smart way of doing it.
Yeah.
Because now it makes everybody question. And I see people fighting in the comments. So it's been a whole thing of like, how much of it can we trust even if it is debunked? And like, what part of it is debunked? It doesn't mean the whole video is debunked. We don't know. But it does connect to another leaked video. So in the video, people believe that Singer Fun was torturing Menglong and later tortured the dog in front of Menglong, ultimately killing the dog in front of Menglong. And the reason that people believe that part of the audio is real is because there's another video, a recording outside of Menglong's residential window. And this is from allegedly a neighbor of Menglong. And again, this could be fake, this could be real, this could be half fake, we don't know. But you just hear muffled wailing and it sounds like Menglong sobbing, Fuli, I'm so sad, I can't do this, I'm so miserable. Fuli is his dog's name. There's so much blood, you killed my dog. I'm gonna insert the audio, but just a trigger warning, skip ahead maybe 30 seconds. I don't know how good AI content is getting, but the sounds sound very visceral. It doesn't sound like AI generated screaming. It sounds gut-wrenching. But this makes people believe that singer Fan is there and that they killed Yu Menglong's dog to get him to comply. People are now asking singer Fan in his comments, what is 12 years of friendship to you? Your shameless betrayal and lies have been exposed. But what's crazier is that 4 days after Yu Menglong's passing, singer Fan posts on Weibo, I'm very happy. Are you guys happy? If you're happy, are you ready to meet me in Chengdu? Which was for his next concert that sold exactly 15 tickets. The comments all read, his friend is dead. What is this motherfucker happy about? Ultimately, only 15 tickets were sold for that concert. They had to cancel the entire thing. His studio tried to make it seem like he had to cancel it because he's sick, but all the netizen comments read, oh, you're not feeling well? I hope you don't make it. Hope the disease defeats you ASAP. You must not get through this. Fighting. People think it's weird that he has not made any sort of big statement disproving any of this. And the one thing that people think could debunk that singer Fan is there